Hello, and welcome to the Sigma Gamma Rho 22-minute chat session. My name is Soror Jacqueline Greeley. Sigma Gamma Rho is proud to partner with the NIH All of Us research program for precision medicine. The program is a historic effort to gather data from 1 million persons from diverse backgrounds to accelerate research and improve health. The goal is to find ways to treat and prevent disease in our community. These sessions are meant to provide you with valuable information while navigating the current COVID-19 health crisis. Soror Dr. Aronica Williams is a native of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and is a product of the Milwaukee public school system. After completing high school, Aronica attended Loyola University, New Orleans, where she earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in music. However, she also completed the necessary science coursework to attend medical school as an adjunct to her music degree. Aronica attended medical school at the University of Illinois, Chicago, after which she completed a family medicine residency at Columbia St. Mary's Family Medicine Residency Program in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with certification in obstetrical care. After residency, Aronica relocated to Charlotte, North Carolina to begin her clinical practice. However, after 7 years, she decided to return to Milwaukee to serve the needs of the community where she was raised. Currently, Aronica serves as the Chief Medical Officer at the Milwaukee Health Services Incorporated, a community health center that provides accessible, quality, primary, and related health care services to Milwaukee residents, with the continuing emphasis on medically underserved families and individuals. I am pleased to have Soror Aronica Williams here with us today to discuss the NPHC COVID-19 Task Force. Soror Williams, hello, how are you?
Good. Greetings, Soror. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. So without further ado, greetings, Sorors and affiliates of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. As previously mentioned, my name is Dr. Aronica Williams. I serve as our organization's COVID liaison. I was appointed to this role by our 24th International Grand Basileus, Deborah Catching-Smith, during the 2020 Central Region Conference, which was the first of the 5 regional conferences last sorority year. Now, if you remember, that was just at the time that COVID was emerging in the United States, and states were canceling events and putting stay-at-home orders in place. I have continued in this role under the leadership of our current International Grand Basileus, Rashida Liberty. As COVID was emerging, it was important to have someone in this role that could brief our international leadership on COVID in general, how our country was being impacted, hotspots, and the changing and rapidly evolving symptoms and recommendations that were occurring almost daily. Additionally, I reached out to several of our sorors that are physicians as well in our 5 regions to develop our own task force and discussion group to relay what they are seeing in their geographical areas and communicate thoughts and needs back to our leadership. In this role, I have been asked to represent our illustrious sisterhood in various facets, projects, and on committees. One such committee is the NPHC COVID-19 Task Force, which I will be highlighting today. The NPHC Task Force is an entity comprised of representatives from all Divine 9 organizations that were either asked, volunteered, or voluntold to represent their organization on the task force. The original call for the task force was in April 2020 under the leadership of the Council of Presidents, Chairman Everett Ward at the time. Now, the Council of Presidents is comprised of the presidents of all of the NPHC organizations. They have historically addressed systemic issues affecting the viability of the African American community. For example, voter engagement, the 2020 census, economic impact, minority business development, HBCU sustainability, and healthcare advocacy. Thus, it is no surprise that a strategic effort like the COVID task force was initiated. This high energy, passionate, and knowledgeable team jumped right in with team building and coalescing around how we can step up to address COVID-19's impact on our members and our community. We recognize that we can have a critical impact on the circumstances of our communities through our collective action. And strategizing our priorities will create opportunities and advocate for equity. When the task force first began meeting, the members spent a great deal of time just learning each other and the various educational, social action, and health initiatives of the collective organizations. As the organization shared what they were doing individually, the task force began to compile a summative list of ideas that the collective body could focus on for COVID. These include COVID preparedness, so how to stay personally, organizationally, and community prepared for COVID, supporting, educating, motivating ourselves, our chapters, and collective organizations through this difficult and unprecedented time. COVID education, including recognizing COVID symptoms, understanding at-risk groups, and optimizing ways to remain healthy through promotion of masking, social distancing, and hand washing. Locating and distributing personal protective equipment of masks, gloves, goggles, and face shields to individuals in need. And finally, providing mental, behavioral health, and spiritual support through this time of social isolation. Our ultimate goal is to always find that niche for maximum impact and relay our ideas, our perspective, and contributions when and wherever needed. So, how does this all relate back to Sigma? Well, if you recall, in Sigma, we have had several webinars over the past year, and the majority of them have had some mention of the impact of COVID on our organization and operations. We started the sorority year off with COVID education in the Sustaining Our Sisterhood webinar in September 2020. We ended last calendar year with Hope for the Holidays in December, where we discussed physical, mental, and spiritual wellness. And now we are engaging you in this speaker series, all in the ultimate effort of keeping our finger on the pulse of what's going on and keeping you informed. My involvement in the NPHC task force is to ensure two main things. First, that Sigma always has a seat at the table in these discussions. And second, to continue collective dialogue about COVID and ensure that our membership is addressed in all of our initiatives, and also understanding what is going on with our sister and brother organizations of the NPHC, and understanding what is affecting their membership and applying those tactics and educational endeavors to our membership when and wherever applicable. As we know, we are more alike than we are different. Since its inception, the task force has been diligent in our efforts to keep our organizations informed and empowered. Most recently, our efforts and attention have been devoted to the COVID vaccine. For example, what vaccines are available? Well, currently, Pfizer and Moderna are available, but we understand that others are currently in development. Next, how do they work? They teach ourselves to make a protein that prompts an immune response without using the live virus. That's important for everyone to know. There is no live virus in the currently available vaccines that are available.
That's good to know.
Once the immune response is triggered, the body makes antibodies or a defense mechanism that would fight the infection if the real virus enters our body in the future. So those are things that are important to know and salient points that obviously our membership would be interested in. So who was involved in clinical trials? Well, there were similar involvement in the clinical trials of the available vaccines, meaning the patients that were included were of similar age, of similar race, of similar ethnicity, and had similar chronic conditions. What are the benefits of vaccination? Well, of course, protecting yourself and those that you love and care for. And right now, to be honest, it is the best defense that we have currently available to combat this pandemic that we're in. People would want to know, are there any side effects? Well, some people experience side effects of pain at the injection site, headache, fever, fatigue, chills, and muscle and joint pain. Now, we've come to understand that these side effects are more common after the second dose. So both of the available vaccines right now require 2 doses. The Pfizer is 21 days apart and the Moderna is 28 days apart. So some people may experience some side effects after the first or the second, and usually it's more common after the second vaccination. However, what's important to realize is that these side effects pale in comparison to the detrimental side effects or the detrimental effects, of getting the COVID disease. And then ultimately what's important also is to understand what are the factors that may be contributing to people's hesitancy in getting the vaccine. That's the reason why we want to provide as much information as possible so that people can make an informed decision. And also having trusted information sources that look like you and me to help ease those concerns. But ultimately, the work of this COVID task force entails providing those salient points to our collective leadership so that they can provide the best, most up-to-date information that is out there to help educate you, our membership. Collectively, the members of the task force have performed over 100 presentations to various stakeholders to educate and inform about COVID and the COVID vaccine. Our goal is not to tell you what to do. Our goal is to provide enough information that you, as our sisterhood, can make an informed decision for yourself, be empowered to have those intelligible conversations with your healthcare providers, and ultimately do what's best for you and your family. As commissioned by our International Grand Basilisk Liberty, I led a subgroup of the task force to create a 9-point COVID vaccination fact list for our presidents to use as an educational and communicative tool for our membership and the community. That fact list is currently in production and will be rolled out at the discretion of the Council of Presidents. The collective work of the COVID task force is ongoing. We will continue to capitalize on the strength of our task force members as an integrated source for credible information to improve the health and well-being of our organizations. We will continue to step up and engage all who will hear us to protect and prepare for the future. This means all levels of our membership, our auxiliaries, our families, our friends, and community at large. We will remain consistently positioned and poised to ensure a robust and positive impact to engage our members, leverage our partners, and leave our communities better than when we found them.
Soror Williams, thank you so much for sharing that information about the work that you're doing on the task force and just the whole purpose and benefit of having not only the NPHC task force, which you serve on, but also the internal task force for Sigma Gamma Rho. I think it's vitally important that we do remain at the seat at the table, and that we are guiding some of the initiatives that are being put out there. So again, thank you for your work on serving in both capacities. Um, so you mentioned a lot of the benefits of the task force, both the internal and the NPHC, but
Mhm.
for you also mentioned chapters and getting, chapters being involved. So can you share any additional resources chapters um, can have in order to provide this information to their communities?
Absolutely. So if chapters need additional information regarding COVID, the COVID vaccinations, the process, etc., they can go about obtaining that information by contacting me directly. So I'm going to list my email address a couple different times so people can jot it down. It is A as in apple, Willie. So AWILLI 2152 at gmail.com. Again, that's A Willie 2152 at gmail.com. Now, if SOARs don't remember that email, headquarters can definitely get in contact with me. I think what is important, and you're absolutely right, I did go over a lot of the benefits. I think it's important to remember there's a biblical proverb that says that a three-strand cord is not easily broken. So 3 organizations at the table is better than 2, which is better than 1. But having all 9 divine organizations at the table discussing what is impacting our memberships and community at large is huge. And this opportunity continues to set the framework of leveraging ideas and partnerships and having a more robust impact. And so through this collaboration, we all benefit from it. And so I'm able to benefit and bring back ideas back to Sigma, or we can have, of course, shared and best practices and understanding what Sigma is doing and how that could be, replicated in Zeta or AKA or in Delta or in Iota or in Omega, and of course, in all of the rest of the organizations as well. But having multiple eyes creates for various viewpoints and extended vision of ideas. And I think having multiple hands in this effort ensures that it's a lighter lift in this vigorous work that's ongoing so that no one person becomes overwhelmed. So this is a benefit that I extend to all chapters and sorors. If they need any information, they can contact me at awillie2152 at gmail.com.
Thank you again. We will also make sure to provide that information in our resource list for this 22-minute session, and have that information available for our viewers. And you just brought home the point of the larger picture of all of the Divine 9 organizations working together. It's bigger than just one, and it can't be done with just one. But this is why NPHC exists. This is why we may have different colors or missions, but we all have the same purpose, and this multiplies that the reason why we're here. So thank you again for reminding us of that, and for letting our chapters know how they can get more information on providing information to their communities. So I just want to close out by asking you, since we are working on such clinical and scientific information and data, how do you feel that this will impact clinical research, Black healthcare, and the All of Us research program in general?
Well, we understand that there is a paucity of African Americans in research. So having a COVID task force and having trusted individuals who are consistently reviewing, researching, and reporting the most up-to-date information regarding health-related topics, that's huge. It builds trust and credibility. And hopefully it will empower individuals to become active participants in their health and the advocacy of their health. In turn, my hope is that by breaking down the walls of mistrust, miscommunication, and misconception, African Americans will be more apt to consider and engage in research opportunities that will further the understanding and the development of how various diseases impact our community, and more targeted therapies can be developed based on our involvement.
That is perfect. Thank you so much. Again, thank you, Soror Williams, for your time and sharing the work that you're doing, not just for Sigma Gamma Rho, but also for all of us in general in this community, this global space that we're in. Please stay tuned while we watch a short video about the National Institutes of Health.
We are one nation, one people. When called upon to give from within, we come together and find that our capacity to help others is limitless. What lies inside all of us is more than data. It's life. It's more than insight and medical research. It's vision and honor and compassion. What's flowing through America's veins is its diversity. The next great breakthrough will be found in each and every one of us. And what we find there will unlock mysteries, heal the sick, and eradicate disease. We ask for 1 million individuals to come forward and stand on this landmark in history. All of us are different, and it's those very differences that will lead to answers for generations to come.